Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Chats with Changemakers and the launch of our second series. And this is a series of weekly chats with an inspiring changemaker somewhere in the world. And what better way to start off this season of Chats with Changemakers than with A.Y. Young? He's not only a producer, a singer, a social entrepreneur, and a songwriter. He has also recently been appointed as one of the 17 young leaders for the SDGs as well. And AY has got so many different initiatives he's involved in, as well as being a singer and songwriter himself. But one of the things that really stands out in all of his work is his passion and his dedication to make change. And I'm delighted that he'll be able to take us through what he has been doing with his organisation Battery Tour to get the world plugged in. And we'll be hearing a lot more from him about that as well. So I'm just going to invite AY to join the conversation and we'll get... And for those of you who are joining us, if you've got any questions, just post in the chat. AY!
What's up?
Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm working hard all the time.
I can tell, given all the different initiatives you're involved in and the stuff that you're doing, but awesome to take them. Yeah, always on the move. But also, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and our community about the change that you're making, because it's pretty awesome. Now, I've done a bit of an intro already for you, but it'd be great to hear, going right back to the start of your change-making journey, how did you start to really make the change that you're now making happen?
Heck yeah. Well, I mean, I always talk about it's it's an outlet for change. It's like one action every day, like what you can do, whatever that is what I'm all about inspiring. But I was on the X Factor show in 2012. So it's like, I don't know, American Idol, you've probably seen it, right? I got 4 yeses from the celebrity judges. So that's L.A. Reid, that's Britney Spears was a mentor, so I learned a lot about the business show, wanted to say hey to the world, wanted people to hear my music, songs, and the thing about the music business and most fields in life, gatekeepers, right, that hold the keys. And so I would try to open for Shaggy, and they'd be like, well, how many followers do you have on your Instagram? Or they ask me like, bro, one of the crazy questions would be like, well, how many tickets has your tour sold out? It's like, none. I have good music. I would die, right? So now I was like, okay, screw this, man. I'm gonna be like Ed Sheeran. I see Ed Sheeran, I see Bruno Mars. They do every day. They're on tour, and I'm like, all right, well, how do I power a concert in? And I obviously didn't want to destroy the world. Wow, how do you do that? And that's when I figured out, energy. Talk about energy-based resource, right? We storing energy. Energy is the base resource. So renewable energy, I could store and have enough power at concert. That's when I started doing what everyone is the Battery Tour.
Oh, well, tell us a bit more about that, because it's something which I think everyone, once they hear about it, thinks that, why hasn't this happened before? So the fact that you started it and you're now doing it you've got 17 countries across the world plugged in. Tell us a bit more about it. How does it work? How did you really start to get that up and running?
Yeah, well, see, so the Battery Tour has evolved. So first I'm doing 10-hour concerts, right? So I'm traveling the city and the state I was in, which was Missouri, and traveling these 10-hour shows, right? Bringing people together of all ages, all demographics. It was a dance party, an open mic night, and it was a concert. It was a platform for other artists as well as myself, right? Plugging people in together in the local community. So one time I'm performing, and I look back, I'm like, I'm A1. I saw batteries because I'm storing energy in batteries, right? And this is a Battery Tour. That's how the name was formed. And then people would like, oh man, here's 5. We love what you're doing, man. We're your outlets. Power the tour, right? And that's also how I really feel like I realized like, wow, like if you look at this, it's an outlet, and which is like our logo. It's like, wow, I realized we're already home in America. Look at the artwork. People would say, hey, the Battery in my home or my gym. So I was like, you're right. You're an outlet. He's an outlet. The woman over here that from the suburbia is an outlet. We're all outlets for change, and plugged into each other, we can do anything. So I started traveling America, right? I ended up opening for with I toured with Shaggy. I opened for T-Pain. It was awesome. But what I realized was, wow, there's over 1 billion people that actually lack access to energy. And I got energy. I'm storing energy. So here, let me build technology. So I built something that I call the outlet, which is what, right here actually is the outlet. It's storing energy right now. And I built that, and was like, okay, I'm bringing people together. What's up, girl? I see you saw something. How you doing? Together. I'm using music. Let's use these concerts to raise money and to send one person around the world an outlet at a time, right? Because that's all I can do. That's my one. Let me use the battery as a way. Oh, that person has a sustainable brush, or this person has a pedal generator, or these other technologies, or this is an activist and they have a voice, or this is an artist that wants to say something. So we started plugging in organizations, corporations, all things to the battery tour to help promote, develop, deploy, sustainable solutions, get the world plugged in. It was just that. So yeah, I mean, I've helped bring access to energy to over 70 countries, but honestly, man, that's nothing. I mean, there's over 1 billion that we are just started. So if it's about plugging your passion, I always talk about the battery is an outlet for you to plug in and connect passion. So right now we're plugging people that are bigger and passion.
Huh? Well, because we've actually got a question here from actually We Make Change USA saying, what challenges did you face while developing and deploying this new solution? Because yeah, like you say, it sounds kind of simple in a way, but there are a lot of challenges along the way, I can imagine as well.
It's so not simple. Also, like doing it. So I did a bunch of concerts in Honduras, which wasn't nearly possible because you're talking, you got to travel. Sometimes villages are walking 4 or 5 minutes access to electricity. Like the challenges have been just in the U.S. alone. Doing a renewable energy powered concert in 2012 and 13 was so far beyond anyone in the conservative Midwest or most of the places I traveled to. It's so hard getting people to know or really sustainability in 2013. Now, since then, you've got Greta, you've got people like Al Gore, further and further, and all these different awareness things and movements that have helped people go, wow, that's sustainable, right? But just doing it, I was very forward or ahead, right? But as far as the logistics, that's why collaboration, right? I've been able to collaborate with different nonprofits that are in different areas, right, of the world, and collaborate with churches, things like that, to get the outlet shipped over, or a sustainable solution in general, because that can range from anything small to large, right? And, as far as putting together a concert powered by renewable energy, that was tough as heck in some of the places. And yeah, there are some places I'm walking, a good half a mile with a 100-pound battery, which is why I shout out Tesla. I can't wait to work with Elon Musk and figure something out better, But I did all that. Oh, sorry, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
But I did all these things for a reason. Like it's hard. It's hard all the time. You're lugging equipment. I'm setting up and tearing down an entire concert by myself. I don't have a group of people. I'm not backed by Energizer or Doers. Keep getting calls. The world. Sorry, the world does. So it's been tough, but a beautiful collaborative thing that has continued to grow, and now more people plug. Thank you. We are the Change USA.
Well, because I think this is one of the things that in this series we also talk to a lot of change makers about, is because I almost like take it back a step before that as well, is how did you really go from kind of having a sense of 1 billion people around the world not being plugged in, and then generate even like I guess that not just the idea, because you've explained that, but go from basically being, let's say, an artist and a singer, to basically actually taking the step, say, I'm going to make this change and this is how I'm going to do it. How did you get to that point?
Yeah, Well, music always. I mean, so here's the thing. One thing that you guys gotta know is I was doing 200 shows. I've been doing 200 shows per year, and I did 230 in 2019. So performing and doing music that appeals to all ages, all demographics, all genres of music, whether it's folk or country in some random country town, small town in Nebraska, or it's I'm in New York City. So music has always been natural to me, and I realized it was a universal language, right? When I could speak to any place utilizing a song that I wrote or genre of music. So when I realized that there are places, sometimes I went to places and the electricity wasn't even in America. It's insane. Or people losing power and stuff like, yeah. Or when my partner, but I still got energy because I stored it, right? So I realized, okay, well, I mean, I just helped get the world plugged in, both physically, but literally in any kind of sense, like plugged in, like when you say getting plugged in or realizing, or me inspiring you to realize that you're an outlet for change. That can mean a lot of things. Plugged in could just be plugged into your local. That could be just plugged into sustainability and taking actions and steps, not just talking about it, right? Taking actions and steps. I talked to Al Gore. I was like, man, you're saying great stuff, and I love Al, and we're good friends, right? But I looked behind Al Gore and noticed he was powered by fossil fuels while talking about saving the planet. So why are you not powered by a battery tool right now? Why Coldplay sending a text on Twitter saying we want to tour sustainably? Why are they not powered? But why are we not scaling out the powering Justin Bieber's next tour? And when Greta Thunberg speaks, why is she speaking with a generator even though she came over to the U.S. on a boat? It doesn't make sense. So with that being said, that's why we need to be plugged into each other, right? They need to know that it's possible now, right? We need to be able to showcase what is. So for me, it came natural. I do music. I can showcase what's possible, which is powering the entire concept of renewable energy. And I'm only one guy, so I can only maybe send power to one person at a time. But that's enough. And I thought that that would be enough to also empower people to realize, wow, well, I like photos. I can take photos of this. That's my passion. I can deal with a battery tour. Oh, wait, I'm a dancer. I can do one thing. Hey, I could dance at the show. I can do this. And that's the concept that I've had battery tour. Everyone is an outlet for change, even if it's just yourself. This all the time, like, okay, say, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. How do I decide? Right? Well, take your cell phone, share something, whether it's from the battery tour or an organization like Four Ocean that cares about recycling. You can always take one every day, or turn off the light. Energy efficiency. Right now, we're saving power. It's all just me simply doing one act every day, bro.
Well, so from your one action, there have been a lot of ripples that have come from those. And one of the things I wanted to ask you about is what do you see as the next steps? You know, for the battery tour, for as one thing, and what you're doing, but also for yourself, sort of as you really kind of become even more of a global change maker in a sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, this is like, yo, bro, this is like Dr. Dre just co-signing, right? I mean, this is like Eminem, like, hey, man, he's up, you know? Like the UN saying I'm one of the 17 young leaders for the SDGs of the world. I mean, that's huge, right? Not only representative. By the way, art speaks louder than words. Heck yeah. Thank you. I'm the only representative of the U.S., right? So this is huge, like trying to be the voice of the U.S. and they push these SDGs forward. So, with that being said, what's next is the right. So what we're gonna do, which I yesterday, I'm happy to say it here, is we're gonna do like the first ever album, completely 100% from the. This is the fossil fuel and from the studio to mastering. It's all by fossil fuels. We're gonna do an album. Actually one song for each goal, sustainable development goal. So I'm also going to call the album 17. We're going to do a produce, mix and master sustainably, and then we're going to go to the first full tour, late 2021, early 2022, all powered by renewable energy, right? And then on top of that, we're going to be documenting phase 1 and 2 tour in the music, right? Music tour, and we locked in contract with a production company. We're going to do 2 seasons. 7 shows each season. Why is 17 a number? Well, there's 17 SD, global. Right, so I'm gonna do 17 records, 17 shows, and so it'll be, and hopefully we can land out on some big distribution. That's the problem. Sorry, I keep getting calls over and over, and it's annoying. But sorry, everyone's calling. But I'll look at a little special project that I never said on the radio. 17 goals, and we've been artists with the goals. We just got the confirmation. We're gonna have Lady Gaga quality record. We've confirmed Bruno Mars, but no Wish record yet. I brought in Brian Kennedy as is a 6-time Grammy Award-winning executive producer of the music. And then we brought in a group called 15 or Nothing. Them up, that's 2020 Experience, Justin Timberlake, that's Dre, that's Snoop. So they came in to help me on the production side. So really happy to have some of the best in the world on this project. And so as we grow momentum, find more artists in line with whatever goal that is, then we'll stick them in to collaborate on that goal, right? People reaching out to Jaden Smith because he cares about water. We heard Leonardo DiCaprio cares about, maybe he's involved, maybe vocally on the song, other way for that specific goal. So if you see what I'm doing, we're about to put the global goals of the world at the forefront, and that's the project.
Well, I'm delighted that you've announced that so almost exclusively on a chat here, because that's awesome. And to be honest, this deals with one of the biggest issues of the goals, right? Which is the fact that basically so few people know about them. And one of the things there are two subjects I really wanted to dive into with you. One was around being an artist and how you can use your voice to really bring awareness to the SDGs. But then also what you think of the SDGs sort of as a framework, as an example for people to follow as well. So yeah, it'd be great to hear, like, basically from that, what role you think artists have to play in this whole thing about getting the SDGs made more aware of,
Yeah.
and how that can then lead to achieving the Agenda 2030.
No, 100%. First of all, what's cracking Changes brand? How we doing? Good. This guy's awesome, by the way. And Rebecca, Justin Timberlake's one of my favorite artists of all time. And I'm happy to be connected to his people and Pharrell as well, actually. So it's been pretty cool. What role does art play in achieving SDGs? I would like to think that art plays the biggest role in really achieving anything. I think it's undervalued at times. But I think the creative economy, what music does, like how it as my partner Thor from the Barry Tour would say, Thor's my partner. You'll meet him one day. God of Thunder. But his real name's Thor. But music, think how much does it change what you think, or mood, or if you're depressed, you out of that. It can motivate you. It can inspire you. It can incite a movement. Music, art, general entertainment. It's very core of what moves things forward. So there's no way we can achieve these SDGs and things like that without having music at the forefront, in my opinion. And I think maybe that's why I'm at this place. I mean, it's so unique that a person like me was chosen. Seems kind of out of pocket, like kind of, wow, there's never anything like this. But I think it's to show like where the and what the universal language can do to ignite change. I mean, literally. So, I mean, obviously, I'm going to use it as a vehicle and collaborate in the world on each different goal, because there's different goals and different artists or people care about different things. And so we plug them all in to this almost global project that not just includes music, but then we'll have, world-changing, impactful showcases of not only the songs, but of doing something that's never really done, powering a concert completely by renewable energy, having a complete carbon imprint on the tour. That there's a lot of aspects that we'll dive into when we get to season 2, right? And then documenting that, because we're a generation that wants to see, touch, and feel. Generation Z, millennials, we're on Amazon, we're on Netflix. We have to story connect to feel a part. And so I'm with my project, here for this. He's trying to put together something that we all can plug into. You might not care that much about education, but maybe you really care about like rights. You might not care that much about the rights. It's cool, that's something I think about, but I really care about clean water and sanitation. Well, that's great. There's a place for you to plug in at the battery, right? So that's kind of what I'm creating.
And because one of the things that, as you mentioned, about being one of the 17 UN young leaders for the SDGs is, well, also it'd be great to hear a bit more about sort of how that came about. And I kind of imagine that that's going to help you along the way as you launch into this project as well. So tell us a bit more about all that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's my cosign. I mean, it's funny. I got cosign. What's up, girl? Oh, no, bro. Who's name? That's a hard name to pronounce. But I mean, like I said, like I've worked hard and never had this cosign. Your question. Ask your question one more time.
So how did you becoming one of the 17 UN young leaders come about? And how are you going to use that?
Yeah, I mean, to pick up from where I last left off, I was talking about Al Gore, and I was talking about all these people I was like meeting and understanding that, wow, they're saying great things, but they are not necessarily saving the saying it. So I was at Climate Week covering this last year. And so I was like, okay, well, we'll start powering stuff. So I started powering speeches and panels for like EarthX and like our good friends over there at Ocean Global. I ended up meeting all these people, meeting Paul Hawken, right? And he's become dad almost, like my second joke about it. Paul Hawken, you guys are listening, he wrote a book called Project Drawdown, right? Which is like one of the manuals on right? And then I met Dave, awesome film named 2040, which you have to watch. It's incredible. It's released in Australia, but not in the US. So I met all these people, and I met Lisa Russell, who's influential, and next thing I know, I'm in the youth, at like the General Assembly, like one of those days, and talking and showcasing essentially what the battery tour is and what it can do and how we can, maybe change and make the economy a green economy. Right? It's possible because I am, right? So that was last year. Now this year, how did I win? I mean, I don't freaking know. I know that Paul Hawken nominated me. I know that Lisa Russell wrote a letter. And, I like Paul Hawken say, this is the guy that's going to change. I mean, I think that meant a lot. I'm just super thankful. I can't believe it was like 18,000 nominations, 86 countries or something. And here I am, the only one representing the U.S. And then on top of that, I was picked to be 40 for energy or whatever. Nexus list or whatever. Oh, hit me fast, bro.
Well, it sounds like you're in that kind of like a whirlwind, but this obviously comes after so much work that you've already put in, right? Like this kind of success, people see it and they think it comes kind of instantly, but it's years of work that goes into it. And this is one of the things I often go into with people, because people often get a sort of almost a bit of a sanitized sense of what being a change maker is like. Again, they see the success, but they don't necessarily see the work. So how have you dealt with some of like the struggles of juggling all of these responsibilities and things and opportunities that you have to getting to a point now where you're getting recognized for it?
Yeah. I've been working like this for a while. I mean, up at 7, 3 a.m. every day, handling social media. I mean, you have to, I started out, when I first started doing music, like, you perform for 10 hours? And I would think to myself, first of all, if I want to be a full-time artist, if I was going to work at McDonald's, they would require me to do 4-hour shifts. So for me, 4 hours performing live minimum. It used to crack me up because people would be like, I lost my voice. And I'm like, you did a minute set and you did that 2 days straight and had a break. What? So for me, it was standard for the band, for the people that you're doing, it's 5-6 hours at a minimum daily. And that's Monday, Sunday. Maybe we take Sunday off because we're out at a location. So that's the kind of, like, you're talking about like a guy, I don't know if you know what 10,000 hours is. You're looking at a guy that wanted to master 10,000 hours dancing 10,000 hours singing, 10,000 hours in the studio, 10,000 hours in social media, because if you put 10,000 hours, if you're listening, you can master that. But there's all those angles of what you need to master. So that's who I am. So when you're talking about like putting in the time and the commitment, and I did 100, it's nuts that we tallied up the last 6.5, 7 years, and it's like we've done over 8 renewable energy powered events since 2012. That's insane, man. I actually, it's nuts to be able to look back and reflect, you know, because like it's COVID, and so I stopped doing, even though everyone wants this micro concert, social distancing, which I could go out there and do 100 and some show, but I started to realize, like, make a real impact. Do I need to go out there and do 230 shows, or do we need to talk to people like you and have partnerships with people like the UN and companies and corporations that really get us plugged in, right? Should not be talking to Elon Musk and making the right back equation. And maybe I do 17 shows that represent 17 goals, and we really make actual impact and inspire people to take an action before, after, and during this campaign. So I'm
Well, and because one of the things I also wanted to come onto, which you mentioned, is kind of obviously we're living in the coronavirus era. Is firstly, how has that kind of affected you, and how do you see that impacting like the issue of sustainability, not just with what you do, but more broadly as we have 10 years to deliver on the SDGs themselves?
right. I mean, COVID has changed everything. If in hindsight, I'm always a glass full guy too, you know. But for me, in hindsight, I like it saved my life. I mean, it actually gave me time. I hope it gave you guys time to look into self and reflect. Now, I know who I am as a person. What's up? Hey, India. I know, yo, it's crap. In a minute. I know who I am as a person, but, you know, doing 200 shows a year for like 6 years, and then, you know, you got 70 days for travel. You know, you got 40, 50 days out of a calendar yourself, you know? Like, so I have personal development, diving, you know, revisiting who I really am and what I want, and all that, and the time to unplug a little bit, where was going haywire, a time to refocus. And so COVID's really given the world reprioritize what matters, right? Now, there's always, you know, and I'll just throw this in, you know, I was about to launch this tour around the world and do this renewable energy thing, and now it's kind of doing now on a scale. And at first I was heartbroken because I lost all the contracts and, you know, lost all potential money, and I'm that scare and fear. If I can't perform, how am I going to live and eat? You know, but was blessed by God. I got into a program, Clean Tech Open Accelerator, for the battery torch startup. Was able to build that out really well, and how to work with utility companies and work with different entities and pieces to make this sustainable macro vision happen. And I've been able to just sit back and grow as a person. I think that change comes from within, and I think that we need to spend more and more time too with ourselves, really identifying who we are, really working through our struggles and problems, being honest about it. And it's work. Sometimes you can look in the mirror and be like, man, I'm a crappy person. I did that so many times. I'm selfish. I'm this, I'm that. Sometimes we are, but you know, it takes that to humble yourself. And it took the world to slow down for me to really cherish that even more. In family, localism. I spent my parents' garden. We have like an urban farm, and it really got me more about, wow, this is important. Growing food in the urban community, selling food locally, stores out of it, more stuff, and supporting local people, because we are a community, right? You know, we need to be doing it. And so it progressed my ideas, talking about, hey, we should microgrid communities and share energy. We should also be doing the same thing with all of this stuff. And I think that the virus has helped us hopefully get closer to doing those things.
Yeah, well, I think that's hopefully how most people have started to use this time, as like you say, a time to reflect, a time to think about, you know, kind of who we are as individuals, but also kind of the world we want to create as well. And as we kind of wrap up, I've got two final questions for you. One is, because so many people see so many negative headlines about the world, particularly with, you know, wildfires, particularly in the US on the West Coast, what are the things that give you hope that we can actually address not just the issues around climate change and sustainability, but more broadly, I guess, the Sustainable Development Goals again?
Yeah, the youth, bro, because the youth of this generation, they care, man. And by they don't care, I mean, if they see an injustice, it's a problem. Fix it. That's how they, you know, they want, hey, watch this TV show. Oh, I want to see this now. They're pretty quick. They're not like, oh, 5-week process. Maybe we should write something out. Like, they're like, that's wrong. I date people of other races, and I don't care what you're, you know, right? Like, fix that. And that's what gives me hope. What's up, Jay Kuz? That's my homie. That's what gives me hope. Is this generation really doesn't care. They're like, that issue, fix it tomorrow. And that lets me know that, okay, now if we show them what's possible, right? If we say, oh, well, it's actually possible to power the entire concert by renewable energy. It's actually possible to recycle this way or that way. If we give it to them in an edible, Jay Kuz, if we give it to them in an edible format, painting because we like paint, that's trendy because we like social media and all these other things. They connect to, and then first, we can make instant change. So I'm hopeful to help him the way.
Well, honestly, I completely agree. I think our generation's got a unique responsibility, but also opportunity to address some of these challenges. And like you say, we're not going to wait. We're here to make the change now. So, and final question for you is, if people want to get involved with Battery Tour, want to support your work, find out more about it, where should they go?
Yeah, dope. Yeah, I mean, so it's easy to get plugged into the Battery Tour. If you have a talent, skill, if you're an artist, if you're a photographer, if you're an activist, you can get plugged in right now at batterytour.com. Right? You can literally get plugged in. I always talk about one action. So again, I go out. Yo, if you're see that right there, see that outlet, you know what I'm saying? Take a picture of the outlet, like our logo, you know, send it to that Battery Tour on whatever. That's how you can be connected. Now, I do make music. My name is AY, and of course, I want to hear my music and hear like the song "Save the Planet" and all this stuff that, you know, I've created, and that would be great, right, to listen to. But if you get plugged in Battery Tour, you're plugged in to me, yo. So peace.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, for all the work that you're doing. We're going to be here to share, support you all the way through We Make Change. So can't wait to see what you do, and looking forward to the new album.
Yo, yeah, man. Here we go, man. But hey, I'm ready.
All right. Cheers, man. Thanks again, and let's definitely stay in touch.
Okay, peace out, bro.
All right. See you now.
Heck yeah.